What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the best damn wrestling talk show on the internet, the Industry Outsiders. We are, this weekend, there are a couple of wrestlers who are under a lot of pressure to put on the best wrestling match ever. But before we get into Backlash, I just got to know, man, Hollywood, how you doing?
I tell you, it's been a week, man. It's been a week of ups, downs, left, rights, uppercuts, up, down, left, right, BA starts.
So you got 99 lives?
Yes. I feel like I have 99 lives. So, other than that, I'm doing fine. Can't wait for this weekend's Backlash. Also been recording some stuff, but Backlash has been on my mind, especially after what happened on SmackDown, which is going to lead in that. I'm excited. I'm uber excited about all of this.
So what we're going to start off the show with tonight is the In Your House results and thoughts. In Your House was a very entertaining NXT show. I don't think it was the strongest NXT takeover, but it was still a good show nonetheless.
So my opinion on that one is that everything was fine up until the world title match, the NXT heavyweight title match. I think they when they introed it was kind of one of those things that you felt that this was going to be hype, but the hype of how they did the intros for it and everybody coming into this match didn't live up to the rest of the match. I
honestly don't know what happened with that one, because you have two guys who can go, have proven they can go better than most in the world, but they just fell flat against each other for the first time.
Yeah. And that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like, you basically had an invitation to make a hell of a match. Part of me wonders if it was done to protect Adam Cole, because, as we know, Adam Cole's contractual situation.
Well, he just, right after TakeOver, he signed a 3-year extension. So he ain't
But I think that right after, the whole right after situation, right? Because a wrestler never really wants to put himself through a lot of hell if the risk of injury presents itself. Mm-hmm. Especially when you know you're not going to be under contract in about a month or two. So maybe the hesitation of that maybe deflated it, and maybe him and Velveteen Dream had that conversation. I don't know, because it wasn't just one-sided. It was both. They kind of held back. In a match that allows anything goes, and basically you cut these awesome promos and these intros to the ring. You had Adam Cole looking like Bret Hart. You know what I'm saying?
Velveteen Dream looking like Negan.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, this, we stepped into this knowing that, this shit's gonna be hype. They already hyped for it. I'm hyped for it. But it was very held back once we got to that point. Now, the funny parts, of course, were of Dexter.
Where the hell was Kyle O'Reilly?
Oh, Kyle O'Reilly's injured. He injured his knee.
Oh, is he hurt?
Yeah. Okay. It's funny because he injured the same knee that that Bobby Fish injured, when he was out for a while. So that's kind of.
So let's talk about the start of the card. We have the 6-woman tag match: Yim, Knox, and Blackheart against LeRae, Kai, and Gonzalez. This was a very entertaining match, and the faces actually got over like you said they would.
Yeah, and I said they had to. because throughout the weeks, Raquel Gonzalez was dominating, Dakota Kai was dominating, and we all know what's it, Candice? No, Candice LeRae. Yeah, Candice LeRae dominating all throughout the week. This had to go down this way, and I'm glad that they made it very entertaining. And so, which made me trip out about what happened after this on the NXT, but we'll get to that later. But it made a new star. Like, was it Catanzaro?
Oh, Casey Catanzaro?
Yeah.
Ricochet's girl?
Yeah.
She has always been impressive in my eyes. She's very tiny. She was on American Ninja Warrior. The girl can go. But when we get to NXT, we'll talk about that one when we talk about the week of wrestling.
Yeah.
You sent me a text saying you were very impressed with Mr. Damian Priest after his match with Finn Balor.
Yeah, yeah. So with that,
NXT.
I said that he didn't have to win. Remember, we said this. I said he didn't have to win this match, but he did have to perform very well. Because I'm like, there's no way that Damian Priest is going to win this match, especially if your plan is to book Finn Balor to go against Walter eventually, which that's got all shifted and changed now because of now the unknown shit that's happening in the UK and the spike of the virus. But we knew that you're gonna have to push Finn Balor somewhere. You're gonna have to push him to the moon somewhere. Damian Priest though put up a hell of a fight. He put up NXT numbers, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, not NXT, I'm sorry, Ring of Honor numbers. So Punishment Martinez came out for this match, not Damian Priest. I mean, there was a little bit of flashes of Damian Priest, but Punishment Martinez is what actually participated in this match.
I was a little worried about that fall he took on the stairs because it eerily reminded me of when Shawn Michaels broke his back on the casket.
Yeah.
He came off the edge of it. Yeah.
But that was his fault because he over vaulted the fall. That's on him. But it wasn't so bad. He came back and, even performed a little bit more. So.
Well, and at the end of the match, Finn Balor gave him respect and Damian gave him respect when Balor gave him the pistols.
Yeah.
Damian gave him the Archer.
Yeah.
So, next up, we have the most lopsided, not lopsided match of the night, which was Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano.
Oh, man. Man, Gargano went through the whole bag of trips.
Yep.
Bag of tricks.
That's right. Ring of Honor numbers, baby.
Exactly. Told you. Gargano went through the whole bag of tricks. Every dirty trick in the book. I'm like, damn, did he go to the Bobby Heenan School of Healing or something? You know what I'm saying?
Johnny G went to his Tommaso Ciampa bag of tricks. That's what he did.
Your boy pulled out the 90s book. You know what I'm saying? Every single bag of dirty tricks against a big dude you could pull off. It felt like one of those Hulk Hogan versus one of Bobby Heenan's heels matches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, real shit. Like, so, I mean, we knew that it was going to be crazy after Gargano stabbed Keith Lee with the keys in the Go Home show. I was like, okay.
Then he did it again.
Yeah. And finally, Keith Lee got his hands on him, murdered him like he probably should have, which was wonderful.
And it just goes to show that Keith Lee is the megastar of this brand right now.
Oh yeah. I was worried that they should have struck while the iron was hot with him being a champ, but I know that they wanted to save him for the feud for the North American title. But I really want to keep the Weasel.
Cracking up off the Weasel.
I'm telling you.
We historians here.
Yeah.
On the Industry Outsiders.
Definitely. That we are. Because you got to compare some of the product from then to now, because that's where your fandom comes from, So, but I love it. Keith Lee needs to be a world heavyweight champion. But Adam Cole.
I think he might be the one who might take the belt from Adam Cole.
I don't know. After what we saw at NXT, this shit's about to hit the fan, bro.
So we already talked about Cole and Dream, that it was disappointing. Adam Cole got the victory.
Yeah.
He 70s baby. He took a pretty bad dive onto the roof of the truck.
Yep.
But It was a very underwhelming match. The highlight of the match came when Dexter Lumis kidnapped Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong like he said he was going to do.
He said he drew it out for you on Wednesday. He said this is what's going to happen. Obviously Dexter Lumis can predict the future. I mean,
he's a man of his word.
He's a man. There you go. He's a man of his word, and he even have to say a word to be a man of his word. He just there it is. Dexter Lumis is going to be a fucking star. I'll talk about when we get to NXT, and I'll kind of explain why.
But isn't it weird that he is a face and not a heel?
I mean, when you're going against the Undisputed Era, you have to be a face. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I just want to see some motive. I want to see him draw the motive. That's all I want. I need a motive of why he's doing this.
Next up we have, and I kind of called this one. It was basically Karrion Kross's toughest match in NXT, but it really wasn't that tough because he absolutely brutalized Tommaso Ciampa.
It was only his toughest because it took so long to put him away, okay? We're talking about length of time. It was his toughest match, his toughest challenge to date, okay? This was like, what match was it? It was like when the Big Show fought Spike Dudley and Spike Dudley stuck around for too long. That's how bad this match was, okay?
I got worried for Ciampa's neck again with that choke bomb on the apron because that was right in the base of his neck.
Yeah, but I tell you what, after this match, I smell a heel turn coming with Ciampa.
Did he ever really turn face? Let's be real here.
All right, so you had Ciampa on his Stone Cold Steve Austin shit. Like, he's not a face and he's not a heel. He's Tommaso Ciampa. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. He is who he is, and this is what he believes. And whether you like it or don't, you got to learn to love it. Okay, that's who he is. However, we're talking about I think this boy gonna snap at this point. You know, we appreciate it. Yeah, this boy gonna snap at that. This because he's getting farther and farther away from Goldie. When he said he was coming back, he was coming back from Goldie. And
good to hear, Ricky.
And every single time that he's gotten closer to Goldie, he's taken 2 steps back away. He was close, then beef with Gargano, then lost to Gargano. And now it's Karrion Kross he's losing to. After he challenged Karrion Kross, trying to get refocused, lost him.
Well, he didn't challenge Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross German suplexed him to hell after he lost to Gargano.
I mean, men like me, I would have did the Drew McIntyre and not even seen them fools again. Remember when Drew McIntyre, after he won the title, and then Undisputed Era attacked him, what happened? Absolutely nothing. He stayed the fuck away from the Undisputed Era, okay? Deuces, all right?
I'm going to Raw. Deuces.
Done. It was done. That's exactly what Tommaso Ciampa should have done. I'm sorry, but we know Ciampa's hard-headed. It is what it is. Okay, fine. But Karrion Kross they didn't call him Killer Kross for nothing, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't. It's like when the War Raiders were called the War Raiders, they went to war. This is who they are, okay? They call this man Killer Kross. They don't call him Killer Kross because he's good at fucking Monopoly. They call him Killer Kross and fucking Kross because he's a fucking killer, all right?
All right, and next up we have the undisputed match of the night, the triple threat match that saw Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. This match was Io's coming out party.
Oh, man, remember I said about Io. I said, I love Io. I said, this might be, everybody's talking about Charlotte. I don't feel Rhea Ripley was ready to get her belt back after that big L that she took against Charlotte. I like that it had to be Io. It had to be Io Shirai that came in and showed out. And I was like, whether or not she won, Io Shirai had to show out. And that's exactly
Io Shirai made herself a star this time.
Yes. And I'm happy for it. Like, I'm good with Io Shirai winning the belt. Because Io Shirai, because she's supposed to be a heel. This new persona was supposed to be a heel, but she garnered the love and adoration of the fans. Not like because this was during the pandemic time. Like she had just turned heel right before the pandemic, after coming back from the injury, and then the pandemic hit and shit like that. But Io Shirai is like the tweeners, like we were just talking about, like a Steve Austin or Tommaso Ciampa, the heart and soul of a division. And I think that Io Shirai is perfect to be the heart and soul of the women's division from here on out. I love Rhea Ripley, but I think Rhea Ripley is too big for where she's at. At some point, I don't know. It's kind of like she surpassed Baszler.
I think Rhea needs to be up on the main roster. I think she'll strive there. Because we're gonna be talking about one woman in particular who has caused a couple of injuries, and people are saying WWE should get rid of her. And I'm kind of on that fence right now with what she's done to Kairi Sane over the last couple of matches they've had.
Oh yes, I can't wait to have this conversation because I have a lot to say about this particular person. But yes, other than that, Io Shirai, I think Rhea Ripley, maybe she's to have another one-off match with Io Shirai and then get moved up to SmackDown. Because I think her, Bayley, and Sasha, after Bayley and Sasha's done with Lacey Evans, that'll be an awesome feud. All right, let's see. Ricky said, what do you think about the future Yellow brand? Well, personally, me, the Yellow brand right now is still the best brand of wrestling that you watch. It is the Golden.
Hey, you're tripping out right now. You're tripping out right now.
When you say tripping out, am I?
Your voice is fucked up. Your camera's fucked up.
Okay, me. Hold on. Because it says I am clear. Hold on. And you're clear. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good on my side.
Yeah, I'm good on my side too.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
All right, let me unplug, replug.
All right, so he's going to get back on his Yellow brand. I think the Yellow brand is in good hands right now with the Undisputed Era and what they have with Io Shirai. In my opinion,
is that bad?
What's up?
Is that good? Am I good?
Yeah, almost there. Yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the NXT brand goes, it's still the Undisputed Era show. Io Shirai is a great person to have as your women's champion. Keith Lee, his star is way over.
Yeah. So, am I good now? Better?
Kind of.
Okay, so I'll just kind of break it down real quick. If my voice can be heard, that's what really matters to me. So NXT is now the go-between. It's starting to get a little bit of the deeper storylines like Raw has, and the entertainment value like SmackDown has. NXT is the best of what Raw is and what SmackDown is. And to me, it's still the best show on TV, or best WWE show on TV right now. As far as like all around. I think Raw is the best drama that we have. And I think SmackDown is one of the better bell-to-bell action, especially that you have AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Nakamura, Cesaro, what is his name? Even Braun Strowman has been somewhat entertaining.
The New Day?
The New Day, of course. New Day, best tag team champions of all time. And that's without question. I will even say better than the Legion of Doom, and I know I'm going to get some slack for that. But I will defend that statement with my life just because of what the New Day actually means to tag team wrestling. But I love NXT for what it is. It's especially with the Undisputed Era, especially that they chose to let Adam Cole be the flag bearer. But not only that, they've protected Adam Cole when he's not on NXT television. I emphasize this because every time that Adam Cole has stepped off of NXT and represented the brand, he has not lost a single match.
Yeah, he has won all his single matches against Raw and SmackDown stars. Yeah,
dude has been the MVP for NXT, and the Undisputed Era are like the true MVPs. I wish that Kyle O'Reilly was back. Roderick Strong
he got hurt in that triple threat tag team match, didn't he? With Bersham and Fandango?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just rough, man. It's rough. Like, I wish people would watch more NXT, but NXT also has to go against AEW. And man,
before we get there, let's talk about Monday Night Raw real quick.
Yeah.
Aleister Black attacked Seth Rollins like your dog does when he hasn't seen you all day.
Dude, Aleister Black is that dude. Listen, you know I've been a huge Aleister Black fan.
Yeah.
Since NXT. Ah, man. Dude is showing that he's got that under.
What is weird for Adam Cole and all his greatness, he actually is underrated. That is a true statement right there.
You know what somebody said? You know what? What's his name? Meltzer said. He said that what's been going around in Vince's eyes, that if Adam Cole was had the same size as Killer Cross, Vince McMahon would push him to the moon. Like, he would not have been.
Because Adam Cole is the exact same size as Shawn Michaels.
But you know what it is that Vince McMahon, and I'll get to the Vince McMahon shit when we talk about wrestling.
Well, can I do a Cultaholic reference real quick?
Yes.
Big man likes big sweaty man.
Toby's watching on YouTube. He says, I sounded like a monster daydreaming blue. I'm telling you though, it's we'll get to that in a minute.
I fixed my internet.
Hey, I look perfect on my end. I don't know what y'all talking about.
With you. Anyway, so Monday Night Raw was a hit or miss show. We got Drew McIntyre just laying out MVP once again.
Seems to what's that what's that movie Fiddler on the Roof where they say that song tradition, and that seems to be the tradition every time.
You kind of want the with the Jerry Springer every time he hits with the Claymore.
Yo, listen. As I love MVP, and I love when he says so much, because I remember last week we had the show and I talked about the history between MVP, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley, and I just think to my head everything that replayed from TNA, and I'm like, this is about to go somewhere dark, isn't it? And I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
What did you think of Lashley not selling the Claymore at the end of the show?
Oh, if listen, I don't know.
This is the best Lashley has looked in the WWE in his time with WWE.
Oh,
this
you mean
the best Lashley has looked.
Oh, you mean how Bobby Lashley? They should have booked Bobby Lashley. You know,
if I was a rich man,
he said. You mean how they should have booked Bobby Lashley in 2008? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, before they threw him on ECW and watered it down.
Oh my God! And we need to do a special on that one day. We need to go live and talk about the debacle fuckery that was WWECW.
Should we start doing the show like talking about how they should have booked people and just pick one person and go through their career away from WWE and in WWE and see what could have happened?
Yeah. I would love to do a WWF. I did an article on K-Side Seats with WWFs. I should do that. I should do like a breakdown of what happened in my WWF scenario, because I had a Paul Heyman one. I had
we can make that a series here. We could pre-record them and release them throughout the week.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down.
Right.
So at the end of the day, Bobby Lashley should have been booked like this when him and Umaga were going at it, and they didn't. They made the man look weak. Like, Bobby Lashley should have, and I hate to put race into it, Bobby Lashley should have been the Black Brock Lesnar. And the worst part about it, Bobby Lashley, he never got injured back then. He came in and kicked ass. If Paul Heyman would have been his mouthpiece, that would have been it. If they would have not shoehorned Paul Heyman with WWECW and made basically Paul Heyman what he is the Brock Lesnar like 4 years earlier. Imagine, dude. Imagine what he could have done as Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece.
Yeah, that's how Lashley needs as a mouthpiece.
Yeah, because
got all the physical and wrestling attributes that anybody can ask for.
Yeah, everything. He has the legit. He has the military background. He has the wrestling background. He has even the MMA background. Dude, it's Brock Lesnar 2.0. Dude, I could have ran with that. Like if I was creative, I would have made Bobby Lashley the fucking killing machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn, what the hell? But I'm glad that. So when you said that about the Claymore, I'm glad. I love it. I'm right on because you can't book a monster to be a bitch. I'm sorry.
One of my issues that came from all is you're now making the Viking Raiders look weak.
So, all right. When I first heard about this whole anything you can do, we can do better shit.
But no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Lashley utterly dominating both of them.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Ricky. Much love. And make sure you watch the rest of the show when you get a chance, man. We're going to really get into it. Thank you, man, for watching. Much love, brother. Ricky.
Much love, bro.
And so, my whole shit is like, I thought about this and I was like, actually, this is actually perfect. Let me tell you why this is perfect. I know this is going to sound weird. I know this is going to be like, oh, you know, like maybe, hey, James, you crazy. And I know I am crazy, but give me a minute, okay? Let me emphasize this. How come every week when you go to the wrestling blogs and shit, everybody talks about how stupid this is, okay? They're literally talking about this. This week, however, everybody was actually impressed because the continuity remained. They broke even at the end of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so the only way now that you can settle this is with a tag team match. You don't want these dudes fighting it out, although they did fight it. They did join teams in on Raw, like when they separated into different teams and shit. But I was like, you can hype this up. The initial to me should have been like if we didn't do anything like this, like the way they're doing it now, I would have made it so that what's his name? Not Montez Ford, but the other dude,
Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins was the only one to get a victory because make it so that Montez Ford was the one that has to face the adversity of not being able to beat anyone on the Viking Raiders. I would have done that because look how they booked it the last two times. It was something that Montez Ford did, whether he overstepped something or he got caught doing something. Like Angelo Dawkins did his thing.
Like he didn't want a sword fight?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was hilarious. To me, it was the fucking funniest shit. Okay. And I know.
So I'm gonna give Montez Ford some praise here. That man is instant gold. Montez Ford is the fucking man.
Yeah, he is. He is. Thank you. And I think that's what's been holding this shit together. Montez Ford, to me, is that point between Shawn Michaels and The Rock. Dude has all the fucking talent in the world and all the fucking charisma in the world. And so, like, when this...
Do you think the payoff in this match, the payoff in this rivalry, because it has to be a giant payoff.
Yeah.
The Viking Raiders heel turn.
It has to be. It has to be. Although it's going to suck because they made the Viking Raiders lovable doofuses, right?
But that will make it better for their heel turn. They're going to be like, you know, this is not us. This is not the shit we on.
Yeah. Like if they get, man, I see. That's why I wish the goddamn AOP never got injured. Yeah. Because, no, for real, because the AOP, because the AOP and the Viking Raiders never had a 2-on-2 match against each other. Yeah. It was always
Seth and the AOP against KO and the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, 6-man tags, 8-man tags. Like they never got to. Shit got me salivating, bro.
We have been starved from that, and that is a Vince McMahon wet dream right there,
dude. I'm telling you, jeez. And so, but on a serious note, I would be that's the only reason why I don't want a heel turn because I gotta check on how long old boy is gonna be out, but I think he's only gonna
7 months,
and that was from 2 months ago, so that's another 5 months to go.
Another 5.
I guess you could heel turn him, but man, That sucks.
Because you know how upset the fans would be right now because they're on the Viking Raiders side. You would get that pop of people being happy that they're not doing the goofy shit no more, but you would get the sadness of the people who like the goofy shit.
Yeah. It just sucks. Like, because either you do that or you turn the Street Profits heel.
I don't think you can turn the Street Profits heel. I don't think that would work.
Oh yeah, you could. Montez Ford would find a way to be a good ass heel. Listen, you talking about die, Street Profits die? You bring back the Die Rocky Die promo? I think Montez Ford would kill it. Come on now. I'm here. Whichever way it goes, I'm here for it. Although I'd be sad if the Viking Raiders turn heel. I would really also like somebody to fuck over the Viking Raiders and have the Viking Raiders focus on them for a while. That way we don't have to turn the Viking Raiders heel just yet. We maybe could hold off until SummerSlam.
But see, this is the whole issue is the tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown are skeleton crews. So,
well, you know, had they not cut a bunch of people in March,
we fired Gallows and Anderson, tag team specialists. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, tag team. Hawkins and Ryder, tag team.
Ricochet and Cedric Alexander aren't even on TV. I mean, sorry, it was a little bit of cold. I'm sorry. It's just,
it's all good. So let's move on to Wednesday night. Let's first talk about the NXT show. And I know you wanted to bring up our boy Dexter Lumis and his stalking of the Undisputed Era still.
Dexter Lumis is fucking gold. Let me tell you why. So Dexter Lumis is like now the supernatural character now. Like he's somewhere on a tier of a Bray Wyatt or Waylon Mercy or even Biker Taker or Kane. But they have been smart to make him be human as opposed to inhuman. So the reason why I'm saying this is because in the match with him and him and Adam Cole was a really, really good match. And you had a couple issues at this point looming around. You can't have Adam Cole lose to Dexter Lumis because after what Adam Cole just went through on this match. But you also can't make Dexter Lumis look like a bitch either, right? So how do you book it? You book some interference here and there. You make Adam Cole look strong, and then you take out Dexter Lumis. Like you get the pin on Dexter Lumis, but you don't get the knockout on Dexter Lumis. Because what happened after Adam Cole pinned him, and then Adam Cole started talking shit?
He got choked out.
And so that's why I like that. So they made Dexter Lumis look beatable, but you just can't take him out that easily. Go get the talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Your ass is going to end up getting choked out. So they protected him in that way, which I could appreciate. It's kind of like the opposite of what they did with The Fiend. You know what I'm saying? Where they booked Fiend to this massive amount of unbeatable person that you can't go back now. And that's going to be hard to book at this point. But that's another story altogether. But Dexter Lumis is in a perfect spot. And now, with all the interference, Velveteen Dream got a chip on his shoulder.
Velveteen Dream cannot challenge for the title while Adam Cole is holding it.
Which presents an interesting little wrinkle now because TikTok.
The biggest story coming out of NXT this Wednesday night was the ending of the show where Scarlett Bordeaux brought out the sands of time.
Yep.
And put Adam Cole on the clock.
Yep. And so now I think those sands of time is going to come out just around SummerSlam. I think that's when the next takeover is going to be.
I think Adam Cole keeps the title because of Ciampa.
He may, but does Ciampa disappear for 2 months until this happens?
No, I think Ciampa had a hate-filled rant on NXT backstage.
Yeah, I know. He, with the way that he walked away without talking to the announcer, from the pay-per-view, and so it was like this. Just, I think you could feasibly keep Tommaso Ciampa off TV for 2 months and then have him come back and snap on Killer Cross and cost him the title. I think because reality is that this has to happen at SummerSlam. Like Cross and Cole has to happen at SummerSlam. It can't happen anytime earlier. Because that's a big money sell the fucking pay-per-view match. As long as you book Cross the right way, and make it so that
which they are.
I just blur those lines between face and heel. That Killer Cross is a fucking killer. That's all he is. He's a goddamn fucking machine. Book him like Brian Cage. Like it doesn't matter who you put him against, he's gonna murder him. Face or heel, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? To get to talking shit, you can have him take out Roderick Strong, and then after next week you can have him take out Velveteen Dream. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't fucking matter at this point. Book him right, then book the damn matches around the takeover around SummerSlam. I'm good with it. But like the other wrinkle in this is that Velveteen Dream, I believe, is going to find a way to cost Adam Cole his championship in order to get a shot at the championship. But when he does that, he's going to fuck over somebody in the process. He's going to screw it up and fuck over somebody. And I think one of those victims is either going to be Keith Lee or Prince fucking Balor. And do you know how much of a money match Prince Balor and Velveteen Dream would be?
Oh, I would fucking love that.
Imagine Velveteen Dream coming out with the Demon Balor pants on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
bring me the demon.
Yeah, bring me the demon. or Prince the Demon having to point to his crotch. Some crazy shit like that. Like, listen, because look, Finn Balor wants the North American title, but he's also wants to get back into the world title picture. Keith Lee wants a shot at the world title. Adam Cole's like, fuck all you hoes. Karrion Kross is like, no, Negro, I done killed Tommaso Ciampa, which automatically makes me the #1 contender. You know what I'm saying? So many variables, and I'm here for it.
But the other big story coming out of NXT is you called this one. El Hijo de Fantasmo has taken off the mask, has unmasked the two kidnappers, and has turned heel at the expense of poor Drake Maverick.
I said that it had to be. Like, who else is out here kidnapping people, bro? You know what I'm saying?
The two people who got kidnapped are the people who are under the masks.
Yeah. They got brainwashed. I want to know who the two original kidnappers are doing the brainwashing and shit. That's the $1 million question. Who got
Brody Lee in the Dark Order.
He's in Dark Order technology and shit. What they do is that they kidnap him, take him to Jacksonville, reprogram him, and bring him back to Orlando.
I'm really interested. I am super interested in the potential of a Jordan Devlin Fatismo match.
Listen. I'm praying that they relieve these travel restrictions because Devlin is a dude with a mean streak, and I think
if people don't know, but Jordan Devlin was trained by Finn Balor.
Yeah, I love fucking Jordan, even though he's a fucking asshole. I love Jordan Devlin.
The Irish Ace.
Yeah, he's an asshole for a reason because he talks that shit and he backs it up. Listen.
Hey, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. Why don't you get started on some AEW talk real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right, so we're going to switch it now into AEW gear. This is like third gear now. Pum pum. So, AEW this week's show compared to NXT was actually a fairly decent show. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. We started with a match. Well, we ended with a match between Cody Rhodes and my man Mark Quinn. And it went just how I kind of expected it to go. A lot of domination, a lot of heelish tactics from Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes is not necessarily a heel, but he comes into this as the man with the most experience. So he's channeling that Ric Flair mentality and just breaking faces, knees, necks, ankles, whatever the hell he wants to. Mark Quinn put up a hell of a show, though. Mark Quinn is a future star. I mean, he's a star now because, I mean, when them cats, what was it? Mark Quinn and this boy beat what is his name? The damn, I can't remember the name. It's messed up. The Young Bucks in their debut match. So you can't really say that they're the next big thing. They are a big thing. They just haven't been booked properly. But Mark Quinn showed the fuck out in that match. Showed his aerial talents. Showed that even on a bad ankle, he's still a dangerous threat. He made one mistake, and it ended up costing him. But Mark Quinn was a star. He showed the fuck out in that match.
That springboard 450 he did on the ramp was nasty.
Dude, all the triple springboards, like on a bad leg, we selling the leg and doing the springboards at the same time. I'm like, okay, Mark Quinn, all right, I got you, cuz I got you.
You know who else on that show I was saying okay about?
Who?
Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah,
Orange Cassidy showed out in that 6-man tag.
Dude, they didn't turn Jericho versus Orange Cassidy into a must-watch match. Like when it happens at Fyter Fest. I didn't think they could. Like I thought that Jericho versus Orange Cassidy would be, I don't know, just like a AEW little comedic thing, like kind of like how they did with Pac and Orange Cassidy, right? No. This serious shit. You know what I'm saying? The Jericho's not
Orange Cassidy did some things in that 6-man tag match. I've never seen him do in his wrestling career. Like that double Frankensteiner on both of the fucking Fine and Powerful. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, listen. Orange Cassidy is a fucking star. He's been doing it forever though. So it's not like this new. This is who he is. So that's how you know that when Jericho wants a piece of you on pay-per-view with the big money match, yes, fucking do it. Dude, Orange Cassidy is shit. And the people that are getting lost in the shuffle, that are taking some L's is Pride and Powerful, yo. They came from being big fish in TNA, and they came in with a huge start when they were in LAX, and they came in with a huge start in the AEW. But they've taken a lot of L's along with Sammy Guevara. They need to fix that.
Sammy's a different animal. I know Sammy's going to come back from this. And I know Proud and Powerful are going to come back from this too. People got to know that the AEW tag team division is fucking stacked now, especially with the arrival of FTR.
Oh, yeah. Super stacked. Shit, you might need to make a second tag belt. Damn near. I mean, because listen, Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, two of Japan's premier wrestlers, are your tag team champions who are in a group together. They're not a tag team, but they're not like the Young Bucks are a tag team, and they're not like Pride and Powerful are a tag team.
No, that's why FTR said the tag team champions ain't even a tag team.
Yeah, but you got to understand, they were in a stable together.
Yeah.
So that's about as close as you can to be in a tag team without actually being a tag team.
They were in the Bullet Club.
Yeah. So when you have that type of continuity together, traveling the road together as a group, that's, like I said, it's about as close as to a tag team you get. I know it's not a full-fledged tag team, but being in the stable, it's kind of like when X-Pac used to tag with Triple H. Dude, they travel together. They know each other. Regardless, when them two get together and they're top-tier wrestlers, you're going to get top-tier shit. And they make a couple of mistakes here and there, but goddamn, you're going to get everything the best. And who can beat Kenny Omega at his best whose name's not Jon Moxley? There's not a lot of people on the list. There's not a lot of people on that list. Same with Adam Page. The only person that Adam Page lost a singles match to was Jericho.
Jericho in AEW and Jericho, and over in New Japan, there was a lot of the Tanahashi and the dude with the eye.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. So I understand where FTR is coming from, but let me tell you that you're facing AEW's best, and that's a problem because you got a lot of tag teams. You're gonna need like a TV tag team championship, a TNT tag team championship. That's what they're gonna. I bet you watch.
They're gonna have to, because especially when the Lucha Brothers get back together.
But the Lucha Brothers back, it's gonna be over. It's a wrap.
I want to see Lucha Brothers against FTR. I think that is going to be one of the best matches of the year.
Lucha Brothers going to be like, oh, no flips, eh? Oh, okay. All the flips, nigga. Every single last one of these flips. Every last one of them. So speaking,
Brian Cage decimate Jon Moxley.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen eventually because Jon Moxley was talking some big shit. And, you know, he was.
He was still talking shit after getting beat up, too.
Yeah. You know, John, he just gets to rambling on. And, you know what I'm saying? Just talking that shit. And next thing you know, he pisses off somebody. And then he's got to bleed and get his ass kicked. That's Jon Moxley in a sense. And then Jon Moxley's going to come back with some sort of barbed wire bat strapped to a battery or some shit next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you're gonna
say. Brian Cage better watch what Pandora's box he's getting ready to open.
It is the box of all boxes when it comes to Jon Moxley.
Right now, Mox's 2020 record after AEW Dark is 13-0 in 2020.
He broke a man's arm because Brody Lee didn't give him back his belt. That's
poor number 10.
But I love it. But
also the thing that added with the Jericho thing is that he used a 20-pound bag of oranges and made Orange Cassidy bleed out of his ears.
It's funny, he used blood oranges.
Yeah.
He was supposed to hit him all right, so what happened? He was supposed to hit him in the gut. The dang orange swung too hard, too high, and popped Cassidy in the back of the head, like right here. Like right here. I'm like, oh my God, you done fucked up. And that's why you don't use a bat.
While in the background, Ortiz is powerbombing the fuck out of Chuck Taylor.
Yo, best friends died. They died. I'm sorry. So I'm hoping to see best friends versus Pride and Powerful for a number one contender spot at the pay-per-view. Just those two.
Friday Fest, remember, is the best friends against Paige and Omega.
Oh yeah, I forgot. They are the number one contenders. Shit. That's going to be a good match, and we'll talk about that.
That's going to be a fantastic match. And if anybody don't know, Fighter Fest is actually going to be free on TNT over a couple of weeks. They're going to be airing it for free. So.
Oh, that's kind of look at.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, instead of Dynamite, they're going to film Fighter Fest over 2 weeks and show it one Wednesday and then the following Wednesday.
And yes, I have consistently been begging Cody Rhodes on Twitter to let me go to Fighter Fest. I will sit in the fucking rafters. I will tattoo AEW on my skin if that's what it takes to go to Fighter Fest. I'll do it. I'll find a space right here. AEW.
Now we got to get this SmackDown, and it goes without saying the New Day came out and got on their knees and raised their fist in solidarity to BLM before their match. We had some more. Well, we saw Tucker. Tucker was back. SmackDown.
Which was
happy boy.
Tucker got a new tattoo though. You see it? So your man, listen. Tucker is going to be one of them dudes that, like, he's got that. I got to think of the build. See, he's got that.
You got that Duke the Drosy build, man.
There you go. That's the man I was thinking about. Like, I'm like, dude, dude's built like Duke Drosy. Listen, I'm still don't know how to feel about Otis being the Money in the Bank holder.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now. That little thing when Tucky put the blindfold on Otis, it was having to, and then when Mandy kissed him, he's like, Tucky, I appreciate the motivation, but
oh shit. That was hilarious. That was fucking hilarious. Listen, I was like, wow. Okay. So SmackDown was a weird bag for me. The big highlights, of course, was the Intercontinental championship match. Which, after I found out that Daniel Bryan's going to go home and have a baby, he's going to take off for a while, I was like, okay, I know AJ Styles is going to win.
And that's why the match didn't happen Sunday at Backlash.
Yeah. Which was...
It's a damn shame because the match they put on was WrestleMania quality.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt. They went through, 4 commercial breaks in that match?
It was 10 minutes longer than the Aleister Black Seth Rollins match from Monday Night 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, which, remember what I alluded back to is that SmackDown is where wrestling happens. You know what I'm saying? And Daniel Bryan has set that standard. Even New Day and Nakamura and Cesaro put on a really good match.
Dude, that knee that Kofi caught off the top rope, when that looked vicious. When he got hit by Nakamura, I was like, ooh.
Hey, Toby said, see if I can get a tramp stamp saying AEW was here. This nigga. Oh wow.
Oh man. Ron Strowman continues his dominance over Miz and Morrison,
which is good because they need a dominant champion to be dominant. And at least until the Fiend comes back around, because that's the SummerSlam money match.
Yeah. Ziggler was there.
Unfortunately, yes, for Ziggler.
Otis killed that man with that shoulder block, though.
Nigga, hey, listen. Speaking of, triple threat. Not triple threat, but 6-man tag matches over on Raw and SmackDown and AEW have been really fucking good lately. Have you noticed that? Actual tag team wrestling, and they incorporate the odd man out, you know what I'm saying, and into their offense. So I think on Monday, I can't remember on Monday, but I was really impressed with how they just integrated everything. Yesterday, when they did with Braun Strowman and Otis and Tucker, when they did the tandem offense on that one, and then
can you imagine walking into Friday Night SmackDown, right?
Uh-huh.
And you walk up to see what match you have that night, and you're in a 6-man tag team match, and your opponents are Braun Strowman and Heavy Machinery.
It's time to go. Sorry, time to go. Bye. See you later. Toodles. I'm like Steve Austin. I'm taking my ball and going home. What?
I mean, even when they teamed up Otis and Braun, that was just stupid dangerous right there.
And then you throw Tucker into the mix. It's like overkill. Everybody's dead. But that was crazy because Otis took out everybody, made sure they were in the proper positions outside the ring, and then Braun Strowman just kills everybody. Yeah. He's like, ah! The way that he did John Morrison, though.
Up into the plexiglass.
It was bad how he did the Miz, but the way he did John Morrison, I was like, oh, no.
The Dolph Ziggler ass got thrown in right into a fucking caterpillar.
It's fucked up because Ziggler got picked up, thrown into the thing, and then thrown back into the ring in a combo. Smooth ass combo. Hup, boom, whoop. Oh, yeah.
I'm down for this big bearded men's stable of Otis, Tucker, and fucking Braun. I'm down for that shit all day.
Call it heavier machinery. That's what that shit gonna be.
Bring back Harper and Owen in the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family against heavier machinery.
Oh my god. Oh hell, I would even been down for heavy machinery versus the damn heavier machinery. I'll even take Seth Rollins and AOP. Imagine AOP and heavy machinery. Remember, speaking of which, remember the wars they had in freaking NXT?
I know.
Shit.
Can you imagine Otis talking to Seth Rollins? Hey, Seth.
Oh, you want my big briefcase? Oh, you can't have it. Oh, no.
Mine, me and my peach. Well, hey, I will say this, though. Him and Mandy be getting it in when they be fucking naked, boy.
Yeah.
They be getting it in right there.
Yeah. Listen, I'm like, Otis is representing big dudes everywhere, and Otis actually lost a little bit of weight in the belly. So
he did. He's doing all those dance videos with fucking Mandy and shit on TikTok. So, all right. So, and The last thing about this week in wrestling, we have to make the announcement. WWE made the announcement that Brother Love is taking over creative. Bruce Pritchard is taking over creative from Paul Heyman and is going to be running creative on both Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I figured the writing was on the wall a couple weeks ago when we saw no more of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, two guys that Paul Heyman has pushed to try and get put into the tag team scene.
But at least he got Apollo the U.S. title before he got removed.
Yes, which that's the only saving grace because Vince likes Apollo Crews, or at least Paul Heyman convinced Vince to like Apollo Crews. I don't know, whichever way that went, he's gonna have the title for a little while.
No, you know what he told Vince about Apollo?
What?
Watch this, man. If not, Brock Lesnar will not come back and take your $30 million for one match.
Oh, listen. Let me tell you. So, I don't know how to feel about this. I guess we have to get to the point that Vince is to me, Vince is the problem with wrestling as it is now. See, they had before coronavirus hit and when Paul Heyman took over, they had a long-term vision. Okay, this was going to be building up stars for the next 3 or 4 years. Okay, and I understand that the coronavirus hit and shit went bad, and okay, I fucking get it. But with this shit, it should have given them the opportunity to tell better stories. Like, to me, I love wrestling, but the average person isn't interested in wrestling anymore because they're not engaged with it anymore.
Yeah, the best story going on right now, there's two of them. There's Otis and Mandy.
Yeah.
And you got the Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and Sasha Banks, Bayley, and the Iconics.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and also, so going up into WrestleMania, McIntyre versus Lesnar. Everybody was hyped about that one. And we finally got the payoff. It sucks that we don't have a crowd, but I can't wait till we do, because you know how big that ovation is going to be for Drew McIntyre when he comes out with that belt for the first time with the crowd.
Yep.
That's going to be fucking ridiculous. But anyways, it's like after WrestleMania, and though they did tell some good story type matches with the Money in the Bank and shit like that, they like well-produced matches. That's what they should have stuck with. Like high-end, high-profile storytelling matches that mean something. And I think we've lost sight of that outside of the two stories that we've talked about. Like, I felt that we could have done a lot better. Cedric Alexander and Ricochet deserves a lot better than what they've gotten.
And so do Shane Thorne and Fink, because those guys have been busting their ass on the main roster.
Yeah, and now they're gone. They've disappeared. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, same with them. And so, like, now Vince is probably so scared because they've been losing viewership that he's reacting instead of acting. Fire Paul Heyman because they want to get rid of the long-term vision. Okay, fine. But you don't have anybody in the short-term vision that crowds want to generate themselves to, whose name is not Drew McIntyre anymore.
Yeah, like, you know? I don't hate Bruce Pritchard. I like Bruce Pritchard.
Oh no, I don't hate Bruce Pritchard. That's not even what I was remotely saying. But you're relying on old tricks to fix new problems. These aren't the problems from 1994, 1995. Your roster isn't weak. Matter of fact, you have probably one of the strongest wrestling rosters in a long time. Why do you think that NXT can still maintain its viewer numbers between 800,000 to 1.2 million every week? It maintains that number, but yet you have significant drop-offs on Raw and SmackDown waivers depending on who's on it. But yet Drew McIntyre is the only one, like when his segments come on, which is why we see him often on the show. When his segments come on, the viewership goes up.
Yeah, him on Raw, it's him and Seth Rollins.
Yep. And so Vince is scared. And let me tell you what he's scared of. He's scared of another Rock situation. He's scared of another Stone Cold situation. And currently scared of another John Cena situation where the star gets bigger than the brand and subsequently wants to go do whatever he wants to do.
So let's be real right here about all three of those men. John Cena, more recently, John Cena did it for 20 years. And then, like he said, when he tried to replace him, the guy you tried to replace him with wasn't ready.
Not only was he wasn't ready, you booked him like shit. Had Roman Reigns had John Cena's booking, we'd be talking about a totally different situation. You can't book him in these shitty
suffering succotash.
Yeah, you can't book him in these shitty ass fucking situations. If Roman Reigns is supposed to be this badass, then you need to let him be a badass. You can't let him be no punk. And that was the problem. They made Roman Reigns look like a punk after spending 2 years making him look like the badass of the Shield. Well, that's why it didn't work out.
Then you booked him for a year against Baron Corbin.
Yeah, and I told you he's a charisma stealer. Like he sucks the charisma out of a story. And then now what do we do? Remember I said, who the fuck is Roman Reigns now? Who the fuck is Roman Reigns?
We'll figure that one out. But right now we got to get to the meat and potatoes of this session of the Industry Outsiders. And it is time for the Backlash prediction.
I predict somebody's going to die. No, I'm just playing. No, for real.
We are getting started off with the U.S. Championship match between Apollo Crews and Andrade. There is a lot of underhandedness going on in Zelina's Vegas stable to the point where Andrade attacked Hector Garza on Monday night.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was hilarious. But you had to know it was coming, though, because Andrade is desperate to get his title back. Desperate Andrade is desperate. But I think the shift away, this drastic shift away from Andrade is a product of his wellness suspension. And then on top of that, the loss of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was a huge Andrade mark.
And let's be real here. Andrade is a 5-star match waiting to happen.
Yeah, he is, literally. So we get to this point where now, you gotta either establish Apollo Crews or you let Andrade run with the U.S. title again. I think to me, you gotta let Apollo Crews win this one. I don't think there is no other way that this can come about. You have to let Apollo Crews win,
I agree. You keep the title on Apollo.
Yeah, you got to. Although it's going to be a hell of a match, though. To be dead honest, their first match was killer. This is going to top that by leaps and bounds.
I'm going with Apollo keeping it. I don't think you can. I think it would be a damn shame if you ruin this run that he has built right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next up we have the match that you predicted last week had to happen. You said it must happen.
Yeah.
Women's tag team title triple threat. Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics.
So I love this. And Toby just said to me the storylines got old, and that's why he stopped watching in the early 2000s, which Toby I can understand and relate to. There was a period up until the SmackDown 6 took over. And when the SmackDown 6 start wrestling, and that's when I kind of got back into it. Like I took a period off after the invasion, and after they fucked over the WCW, I took some time off. But that's fine. It's okay. So, yes, this match must happen. And this actually presents one of those, we don't know who's actually going to win this one. You can make, there's some matches you can make a prediction and be like, yo, this seems like it's going to be the right thing to do. This, no, we don't know. Because Bayley and Sasha Banks don't need the tag team titles. Although you can make a really good story out of it.
You can turn it into Shawn Michaels Stone Cold at that point.
Yep. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would love to get their titles back. They can be 3-time tag champs.
And they're fantastic together.
Yep. And then the Iconics who beat Bayley and Sasha Banks and who have been
Sasha Banks take her ball and go home.
Yep. And I wish they would have brought that up too. I wish they would have brought that up. But we don't want to hurt no feelings. We don't want to make anybody butthurt around here. So if I had to pick one, because of what we found out on NXT, which is there's a match going down, And the winner of that,
Blackheart and Tegan Knox against the tag team champions. Yes.
Yeah. So we know that at that point, a heel team has got to win, which then leaves the Iconics and Bayley and Sasha Banks. I think you got to go with Bayley and Sasha Banks retaining because it's going to tell a better story at the end of their inevitable breakup, which you know is going to come soon.
I'm still predicting SummerSlam. That whole thing burns down. So I agree with you there. I think Bayley and Sasha keep it. And honestly, I think they might drop them on NXT to Tegan and Shotzi.
That would be interesting. It is interesting given the amount of female tag teams that are on NXT because you have Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
Yep.
And they're booking them with the dual intro, with the dual Titantrons and shit. I'm like, okay, and that'll make a nice little tag team. You know what I'm saying? Like match with Blackheart and Tegan Knox.
And that might actually to save Kairi Sane's life, take her back to NXT and team her with Io.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be really, really good. There's a bunch of things that they can do, and then that gives the opportunity for the NXT if they really put it on somebody. Let's say they put it on Tegan Knox, and Shotzi. It gives them the opportunity to travel to different brands. Well, not travel, but go to different brands. Get more exposure. Talk to other people. Learn the experience and shit. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at Bayley and Sasha retaining this one. Should be fun.
And that's the best move for storyline purposes too. So.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the greatest piss ever. Jeff Hardy just flung a whole jar of piss in Sheamus' face last night on SmackDown.
Well deserved. And I know we haven't talked about this. So last week when Jeff Hardy described who his attacker was, he said that he said the person that got to the accident was a man with a gray beard. And did you see my Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when he announced that, I said, wait a minute. A man with a gray beard, huh? That only leaves one person that I know with this epic gray beard. You know who that is?
Who's that?
I will share my screen and you will see, sir. It is one person that we haven't seen for years, okay? We haven't seen this man for years. Let me see. Was he there? Where's that? That man right there, El Generico. I have money that it was El Generico that has started all this mess and set up this crash with Jeff Hardy.
Well, it would make sense since the WWE is like, oh, any heel can work with Cesaro and Nakamura. Let's put Baron Corbin with that. Fuck you, Sami Zayn. So I think this match is going to be really brutal because both of these guys, okay, so I was upset at first with the whole Jeff Hardy thing. You know that I voiced my opinions.
Yep.
I don't like when the WWE does this stuff, and I know they got to get the wrestlers' permission to do it and to go into that shit. What Toby say? To me, the golden age of wrestling was when you had the big three: WWE, WCW, ECW. Yeah, that was the golden age. That was some of the best wrestling we've ever seen.
True.
But, so Jeff Hardy, I really hope they are playing this way because me and you, we have been fans of Jeff Hardy since Team Extreme, since way, way back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody knew Jeff Hardy was going to be the guy one day.
Yep.
Unfortunately, in TNA, he fell back into drugs and shit. And then you had the whole Sting debacle with Jeff Hardy. But Jeff Hardy finally seen, and I defended this man every time. He finally seems that he might have his head straight, but then he gets hurt and he's right back on the fucking in rehab again.
Well, all right. So here's my thing, okay? I wish they would have made this match like a hardcore match or no holds barred. That would have been perfect. They should have announced that like after that brawl that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you fuckers can't control yourselves? No holds barred, bitches. Because I mean,
that's why we need Teddy Long. Holla, holla, holla. Both y'all going on a match against The Undertaker. What is now a tag team match? Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. You're taking on Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. You know Teddy Long would do some shit like that too.
Thanks to the math. I was like, what? Hold on. To carry the 740. No. So Toby said the golden age of wrestling to him was when you had the victory.
I brought that one up already.
So while that's true, with AEW being in the picture and TNA being in the picture and New Japan being in the picture, even though they're not as big, and Ring of Honor being in the picture, and even the small little independents being in the picture, I think we're at a point now, especially since Vince McMahon let go 20% of his roster, that now shit's gonna start to step up. But I have Jeff Hardy in this one. Either Jeff Hardy is gonna win this match, or halfway through this match, somehow the hacker's going to reveal who actually is the one that did it. Because there's still a hacker.
Yep.
There's got to be some camera footage somewhere.
I'm gonna go with Jeff Hardy just because he's the sentimental favorite, and he kind of needs the win more than Sheamus does it right now.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right. Next up we have, and I know we both have a lot to say about this one, the Raw Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax, leave Kairi Sane the fuck alone.
I don't see. The thing is, all right. So there's an old story. I'm pretty sure that you've heard with Paul Heyman, talking about how when Brock Lesnar got put with Paul Heyman, after like basically Paul Heyman and Taz suckered Vince McMahon into giving him to Paul Heyman, and had Brock Lesnar to pick his first two opponents, which were Spike Dudley and what's his name, the SmackDown's #1 announcer,
Sho Funaki.
Yes. So when they had this match, the thought was that after having the conversation, Spike Dudley was going and Funaki were going to sell deeply for him because he was a big monster, next big thing. It worked out. Dudes pushed the moon, and the rest is history. Nia Jax is no Brock Lesnar. While she is a big woman and she is a strong woman, she's not as strong or as controlled with her strength as Brock Lesnar. As such, being Kairi Sane, after her double concussion that she had, against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, should not have come back to wrestle either. But that is still no excuse for the lack of control and the lack of safety that Nia Jax has put out.
Nia has injured her in consecutive matches.
Oh, I know. And the
last one, Kairi Sane has a nice 6-inch gash in her fucking head now from the sets.
I know. And that's why I said her lack of being safe for her co-workers is a problem. And it seems like, and I understand Kairi Sane is a smaller person. Well, a smaller woman that she's worked with. She's not Asuka, where Asuka has the Japan experience but she's also built thicker than Kairi Sane.
Yeah, Asuka compared to Kairi is a big difference between Asuka and Kairi.
Oh yeah, I know.
Kairi is fucking tiny.
Yeah.
But she can go. And she had heart for days.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Kairi Sane should not have been back at work to begin with after that shit. Kairi Sane should have took off a few months, like 3 months, 3-4 months. But Nia Jax really made shit worse, and it's not looking good for her. To me, I don't want to say she's unsafe because there's other instances with different types of wrestlers where she's been safer with, like Alexa Bliss, for example.
Okay, but she also broke Becky Lynch's face with an air punch.
Well, I know that's what I was gonna say. Like that's another thing that you'd have to look at too. So my problem is that we don't know which Nia Jax is gonna step into a ring, and that's a fucking problem. And
I think there's no way they put this title back on Nia right now.
No, not with the love that Asuka's getting back from the fans again. You probably have one of your better faces for the first time in a while. I know Becky Lynch was the man, but the mystique and aura around Becky Lynch was wavering as the closer we got to WrestleMania, to the point where people were kind of thinking that maybe Shayna Baszler was going to beat
which I personally think should have happened.
Which, you know, it was going to until Vince McMahon vetoed it. But that's another
Vince
story.
McMahon does not like Shayna Baszler, which is why we haven't seen Shayna Baszler on TV since the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. Stupid shit.
Like, where the fuck is Bianca Belair?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know, too. She was supposed to be rolling around with the Street Profits and shit, and that didn't happen.
She gone. All right, so I think we're both picking Asuka in this one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right, next up we have the WWE Universal Championship match, the Monster, the Strowman Freight Train, taking on, defending his title in a handicap match against Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Well, I'm really going to keep it real simple with this one. Braun Strowman is going to kill these men. I don't see this happening any other way. This is going to be Braun Strowman versus two local jobbers. Just except the local jobbers have 20 plus years of experience, but it's okay. It's no big deal, right?
Oh, so you mean like when you squash Generation Me? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah, this is going to be all bad. Braun Strowman all the way.
I think we are going to see an appearance from the Fiend in this match.
Yeah, after the fact, I definitely agree. I think after Braun Strowman kills these two men, you're going to see the Fiend and then we're going to get that push all the way to SummerSlam. I'm here for it.
I'm there. I'm with you, Strowman, all the way. He's actually been a good champion, and they've actually let him keep it longer than a week.
Yeah. Yes. But the Fiend's coming to get you. No.
Next up, we have the WWE Championship match. Big Daddy Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley.
So the question is how many Claymores?
She's safe. Is anyone around her that's not safe?
Those are facts right there. The question is, in this match, how many Claymores is it going to take to put down Bobby Lashley?
And can Drew McIntyre break the master lock?
I mean, I ordered a master lock on Amazon and it broke. So, I mean, yeah.
Could you imagine if Chris Masters was still in WWE right now? Him and Bobby Lashley would be a dominating ass tag team.
Dude, if Chris Masters was still in WWE right now, Chris Masters would have been pushed to the fucking moon at this point. Because remember, towards the end of Chris Masters' run, he actually became a really, really good fucking wrestler.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I'm glad to see that him and Carlito are continued their tag team on the indie scene. So where are you going with this one? Does Bobby Lashley finally get the WWE Championship? Or do they keep the Drew McIntyre train going?
You gotta have the Drew McIntyre train. Just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling until SummerSlam.
I think you gotta keep it rolling to fucking WrestleMania.
I mean, true. I think that Drew McIntyre's next big opponent, which I think it'll be a money match if they book it right, is the incoming Dominik Dijakovic.
I think it's going to be another Brock Lesnar one because they want to do it in front of the fans.
Fuck all that. No. I know they're going to, but I love Dijakovic.
Yeah, I like Dominik Dijakovic, but I think he needs to work. I think they need the US strap to go on him first and then work that up to Drew.
Could you imagine Dijakovic led by Paul Heyman coming out and hitting Drew McIntyre with a feast your eyes after the Bobby Lashley match.
Could you imagine Keith Lee drops the title on NXT and at WrestleMania is Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee?
Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I will love it.
I'm going with Drew McIntyre in this one. Bobby Lashley, I think he's going to have one of his better matches over the last year in this one.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So next up, we have the greatest hyping of a match that could end up blowing up in everybody in the WWE's faces. Thank you, Caleb Braxton, for calling it this. The greatest match, the greatest wrestling match ever. Edge versus Randy Orton.
So one of two things are going to happen. So underratedly, this may end up being the greatest wrestling match ever. Or Dave Meltzer is gonna pound this shit in the 0 stars hell. One of the two. That's literally only way. There's no in between. It can't be the greatest match ever and have 5 stars.
But how do you go? Okay, how do you go with this tagline for this match?
A lot of editing. That's how you go.
A guy who has not wrestled a regular wrestling match in over 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
A guy with Randy Orton, who if he doesn't give a shit, you're getting a 1-star match if he doesn't care.
Well, he obviously cares.
No, yeah, he cares. Randy Orton's going to do what he's doing.
He don't want to be part of the worst, greatest wrestling match ever. Okay.
So with this match, I'm going to ask you right now: will it go along the lines of Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, or Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20?
Well, for starters, it has to at the very bare minimum has to be better than AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan this past Friday night on SmackDown.
Maybe that's why they did the match on SmackDown, because if that match is at Backlash, no way in hell this match is living up to it.
And end scene. Thank you. No,
at that point, Edge and Randy Orton gonna be like Triple H and Randy Orton after the fucking Shawn Michaels Undertaker match. Well, we're fucked.
That's it. It has, at the bare minimum, it has to be better than that match that we just saw, because that match was the fucking barn burner. I don't know if it can live up to the hype. That's like you'd have to do some serious cinematic shit when you do this match. It has to be seriously cinematically cut to hide flaws and all kinds of stuff. That's a big tagline to put on something. Why would they put themselves in this position?
Especially in a rivalry that over the 15 years these two have wrestled each other has been one of the most brutal rivalries of all time.
I wish they would have leaked this match. Somebody would have leaked it. Somebody would have asked, is it the greatest wrestling match ever? And somebody would have said, yes, it fucking is. You need to fucking watch it. And then, then we'd be really hyped about it. I don't know. Listen. They didn't book themselves into a corner. This is the Fiend booking themselves into a corner type booking. I said there has to be a lot of cinematics done with this in order to make it work. Because if it's not, then
you have matches on this card that have the capability of outshining this match. Apollo Crews and Andrade.
Jeff Hardy and Sheamus could be brutal as fuck too.
The fucking triple threat women's tag title match. And who knows what the Miz and Morrison are going to bring, because they're going to bring something.
They probably said everybody's having 10-minute fucking matches.
Backlash going to be an hour and a half.
And the hour is going to be fucking Edge and Randy Orton.
There'll be what they're going to do, they're going to take the WrestleMania match, take out all the brutality, add the cool parts, and then add a regular wrestling match to it.
They should have made it 3 stages of hell. If you really like, if they really wanted to be the greatest wrestling match ever, they should have made it 3 stages of hell. Or fuck it.
Then you're going to be comparing it to fucking Triple H and Mankind.
Or Triple H and Austin.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Or, I mean, they could have did Fight Pit. I would have been down with Fight Pit. Automatically, if you would have said greatest wrestling match ever in the Fight Pit, I think they would have been able to pull it off. You just have random people at the top throwing weapons in and shit randomly and shit. That shit would have been tight. You know that.
They should just did the Punjabi prison. It would be very easy for them to have the greatest Punjabi prison match of all time.
Have Edge hit the spear off the top of the Fight Pit. That shit would have been sick.
Undertaker versus Mankind, was the best, one of the best. Undertaker and Mankind's rivalry will never be touched.
Yeah.
Because during that rivalry, we saw a man murder another man. Multiple times.
But that was payback for Undertaker versus Mankind in 1996. You know it was.
Undertaker, when Mankind came out the casket, gave him the mandible claw in the casket match against Goldust for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Undertaker, he treated Mankind like Maven after Maven eliminated from the Royal Rumble.
So, I think Edge is going to win this match.
I think Edge has to win this match, but unfortunately, I think this match is going to get buried under its own hype.
Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest wrestling match ever. Like I said, unless they do a lot of cinematic shit to it.
Bruno Sammartino comes in, hits fucking Randy Orton with a fucking side slam. Then he can't walk anymore.
1998, Edge steps out of a fucking portal and hit the Edge DDT on Randy Orton and steps back in the portal.
You know what would be the most fucked up shit that they did if they did something on here?
What?
Instead of actually having them wrestle, it's just a simulation match in WWE 2K20.
You wish they could do that, but I'd be afraid the game is going to freeze in between.
Oh, look at that. It's going to glitch out halfway through.
Fate's going to be missing and shit.
All right. So I am actually excited for Backlash. I'm going to give Randy Orton this one because I think Randy Orton needs a win in this reboot of the rivalry. I don't think it'll be the greatest match ever because, like Hollywood said, you got to match Daniel Bryan AJ from SmackDown. But then when they're doing the match graphics, they're showing Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat. You're not going to touch that match. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. It's all fucking Daniel Bryan's fault. As usual. As fucking usual, Daniel Bryan ruins things.
So with Daniel Bryan stepping away, it's a good thing for Drew Gulak. Because we want to get a Gulak-style rivalry now.
I think that's going to be my next video. Daniel Bryan ruins things. I should make a video talking about what Daniel Bryan has done for wrestling and how it's ruined every single thing that Vince has ever tried to do.
Daniel Bryan has been the constant middle finger to Vince since CM Punk has left the company.
God damn, Daniel Bryan ruins the world. That's going to be the name of the video. Daniel Bryan ruins the world.
All right, so with that being said, this is going to bring the Industry Outsiders to a close tonight. Stay tuned on Monday for a brand new Sinful Black Reacts. And we will catch you guys soon. We are out.
Deuces. Oh, yes. Wait. Roll it back.
Hold on. Let me.
Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page. Also, Overtime Sports Show will be back on Monday. Sorry about Friday. I had some technical difficulties with the computer. Couldn't do a live show, and I didn't want to do it with my phone. But we will be back up and running and good to go. So, Simple Black Reacts. Also Monday dropping. Actually, maybe dropping on Tuesday. Ball in the Budget We'll drop. I got a couple of those left in my arsenal. We're gonna drop. And yeah, that's about it.
Also, I got it to work to where I can stream on YouTube from my PlayStation and have a show on Sinful Black Gaming.
There you go. Look at you. You become a technical wizard.
Yes, it's called buying a Wi-Fi amplifier.
You know what else you can do, which it'll work for a while, but then it'll piss off your peoples in the house because it may or may not shut off the power. You can get a power line network adapter. You plug it into you plug a wire from the router into a plug in the wall by the router, and then you plug in the thing on the wall close to the thing and then plug it into the computer. The internet runs off your power lines. Now, if you stress out the internet in your house, you may or may not shut off your power. But that's neither here nor there.
That being said, I am Big Sting. That's Hollywood J Black. We'll see you Monday on Sinful Black Reacts. We out this bitch.
If he doesn't break his internet, deuces.